Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to show you how to crochet this gorgeous little bralette that I actually designed myself. And what I love about this style is the strap goes from the front to the back, so you can wear a bra under it if you like. And it's easy to put on and easy to take off with the lace up front. So let's get started. So to start, I'm using a 4.5mm hook. I'm using yarn needles, scissors, wooden beads. The yarn I've chosen is Moda Vera Gelato, and I got this from Spotlight here in Australia, and it's 50% acrylic and 50% cotton. And I really like this yarn because it's really soft against the skin, and it's quite strong as well. So first of all, we're going to slip knot onto the crochet hook, and we're going to chain 25. So we're going to chain 2 and we're going to go straight into the third stitch, and we're going to half double crochet for one row, and once you get to the end it should look like this. And what we're going to do now is we're going to chain 2, turn your work, and you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and you're going to go through this whole row doing a half double crochet again. Once you get to the end, it should look like this. And what we want to start to do is increase, because what we want it to do is to increase upwards. So what we're going to do is chain 2, turn your work, yarn over, go into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and you're going to do this same thing in the same stitch 3 times, and this will give you the increase of the stitch for this row. Then after you've done your 3rd stitch in the same stitch, keep going all the way to the end, doing half double crochets. Once you get to the end, it should start to look like this, and we're going to keep going. So chain 2, turn your work, yarn over into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and you keep going right until the end. Once you've got to the end, you're going to chain 2, yarn over into the first loop, yarn over, pull through 3, and do that same thing as we did before. All 3 stitches in the 1 loop. You've got right down to the bottom again. So as you can see, it's starting to increase. So we're going to repeat this process for 13 rows. So it should start to look like this. See how it's going up and it's straight on the bottom. So that's really good. We're going to keep going. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we've got 1 more row to go. So we're going to chain 2, all 3 stitches in the same loop, and this is our last row. And we're going to half double crochet all the way down to the end. And it should start to look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There should be 13 rows. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So now what we're going to start to do is we're going to start to decrease. So we would need to do 5 points up the top and we should do 10 rows. So we're going to chain 2 and we're going to half double crochet the same way all the way up to the top. Once we've got to the top, we want to start to decrease from here. So we're going to chain 2, turn your work, yarn over, in the same loop, yarn over, pull through, and this time only pull through 2 loops. And then you're going to go straight back into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and that will create a decrease in your stitch for this row. Then we're going to half double crochet all the way down, right down to the bottom. Once you've reached the bottom, it should start to look like this. So chain 2, turn your work, and you're going to half double crochet all the way back up to the top. But this time, we're only going to half double crochet up to the second last stitch because we want to start to decrease, so we don't want to have it level with the next stitch. We want it to be slightly lower. So this time we're going to chain 3, turn your work, into the first loop, yarn over, pull through 2 only, straight into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and that will start to decrease again, and you're going to half double crochet all the way to the end. And it should start to look like this, which is looking really good. So you can see where it's increasing, and then the highest point is where the front of the strap starts. And then we start to decrease from there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows. So from here, we need to start to go outwards, which is going to be the part that's under the armpit and around the back. And we're going to do 17 rows here because we're going to do exactly the same thing again for the other side of the top. So we're doing 17 rows of half double crochet, and we're going to do exactly the same thing, but there's not going to be any increase or decrease involved. It's just going to be the straight line all the way through, which is pretty simple. Half double crochet up and down until you've done the 17 rows. So it should start to look like this, and as you can see, the strap on the side, that's going to go under your armpit. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 rows. So we're going to tie off, cut the yarn. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do exactly the same thing as what we've just done, because we're going to make the other side. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do the same process, increase, decrease, and as you can see where we've increased, that's the front, and then we're going to make it decrease down the side like so. And now we're going to stitch the other side of under the armpit, which is along here. Okay, so once that's done, all we've got to do now is we've just got to slip stitch. This is the back part, so this is the back seam of where we're going to actually connect the top together. So all we're going to do is just slip stitch it all through, which is pretty easy. Okay, so once we've finished that, we just got to tie it off. And once that's done, then we can move on to the front. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So here's the front. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do these pretty little boxes at the front, which is where the lace goes through. So it's really easy to tie it through. So we're going to slip knot. So what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch it in. And we're going to chain 3, and we're going to double crochet into second loop. Then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to double crochet again, but we're going to go into the second loop. So every second loop on this row, we're going to double crochet. This should start to look something like this. Pretty little boxes for the lace to go through. We're going to single crochet all the way to the end, and the reason why I decided to do this is just to give it a little bit more strength. And we're going to go every loop along here because you don't want to start to decrease the front. You want it to keep nice and straight and even. So once that's done, it should look something like this. And we're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. So it should start to look something like this. So now we're going to start with the straps. So as you can see, the highest point is where we're going to stitch the strap on. So we're going to slip knot onto the crochet hook, and we're going to chain 50. And then what we're going to do is chain 2 after the 50. And then we're going to half double crochet into the third loop, and we're going to do so all the way to the end. And it should start to look like this. And that's your first strap done. So you're going to do it again for the second strap. Same thing, chain 50. But what we're going to do now is, with the first strap we've done, we're going to sew it on with the yarn needle. And once that's done, we're going to tie it off, and that's your first strap done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stitch on the back of the strap on the inside of the back of the top. And there you have it. That's the first side done. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing to the other side. And once that's done, we're going to start to do the lace at the front, which is so easy. So we slip knot onto the crochet hook. This time we're going to chain 150. So it's nice and long, and then you can hang the beads on the end. Once you've done that, tie off, and you can get your lace and just weave it all through. There's no right or wrong to weave it whatever way. I just do a crisscross, but you can do it however you desire. So I usually do every second loop. Now what we're going to do is we're going to decrease around the bust line of the top just to kind of bring it in a little bit. So we're going to slip knot onto the crochet hook, and we're going to slip stitch on the bottom. So what I'm doing here is I'm single crocheting the first loop, the next loop, then I'm going to skip a loop and go into the next one, then the next one again, and I'm going to skip the next loop. So every third stitch I'm skipping, and that way it will give it a decrease under the bust line. So what we're going to do now is we're going to double crochet on the bottom, and if you do want the top longer, you just keep going and going with the double crochet all along the bottom until your desired length. But I'm going to just do the one row today because I want to keep it as a bralette. So just keep going and going in every single loop, double crochet, just for one row. And once that's done, what I've done here is where I've laced up the front and I've done the extra rows on the bottom, I've decided to undo that lace and just bring the lace down into the bottom loops just to bring it in a little bit on the bottom. But you don't have to do that. You can leave it open if you like. It's totally up to you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pop on the wooden beads. I just like this idea because it kind of gives it a nice beachy, summery type of look. You don't have to go for these beads if you don't want to. I mean, it's totally up to you, but I do like that look. Cut off those ends. And there you have it. Your very own little bralette. Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed my video, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe so you can see more videos, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.